In today's video, I have two short stories I collected from Reddit. I hope you find them both eerie and entertaining. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and maybe I'll be back with more. Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Just wanted to welcome you aboard our flight today and give a special thank you to our High Flyers reward members earning valuable points on today's 2-hour and 14-minute flight to Los Angeles. We are expecting a bit of rough air over the mountains past Denver, but other than that, we've got clear skies and should have a smooth ride. Please remember to remain seated with your seatbelt fastened when the seatbelt sign is on and listen to our wonderful flight crew. Now, we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy our ride to LA. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking again. We have reached our cruising altitude of 32,000 feet, and I have turned the seatbelt sign off. Please feel free to get up and move about the cabin. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain once again. I wanted to call out a very special passenger on our flight today. Greg is seated in 23A, and he's a veteran. Let's all take a second and thank Greg for his service with a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to address Greg one more time here. He's just such a special guy. A veteran, a father, a husband, an adulter. You see, my wife thinks Greg is a very special person too. I've seen the text between the two of them. Greg spends a lot of time at my house when I'm away from work. Isn't that right, Greg? Ladies and gentlemen, if any of you have just heard a bit of ruckus from the cockpit up here, it's nothing to be concerned about. The co-pilot was worried that I'm a little too upset to be flying right now, and I needed to strangle him. But don't worry, I can fly the plane all by myself, unlike Greg. Greg's a personal trainer at the gym. How very fucking special you are, Greg. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've noticed, we've started to descend a bit rapidly here. I just want to give Greg a fun ride, like he did to my wife. Are you enjoying the ride, Greg? I know she did. I read every single message, Greg. You're hung like a horse. My tiny shriveled could never compare. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, those are mountains we're rapidly approaching. Did you know that Greg always gets my wife to the top of the mountain? Apparently, I never did. But she doesn't have to fake her orgasms with Greg. Special fucking Greg. Well, Greg, I thought you might want to help all these people reach the mountaintop as well. It's because of you that I'm taking us all there. Well, there'll be more of the mountainside, really. Ladies and gentlemen, as we descend lower, you might get cell service back briefly before impact. I'd recommend you call your loved ones. Greg, unfortunately, I killed my wife before I got on the plane, so she won't be answering this time. Ruth was at the sink, hands in hot soapy water washing up when she first saw them. The figure, huddled up in a bright red parka, made their way down the path beside her house. Obviously they were visiting the beach, but in this awful weather, it didn't make sense. The wind was screaming, the sky was bruised purple, just waiting to explode with rain. By the time the kettle had boiled, rain started splashing in large, frenzied droplets against the windows. Ruth sat in her kitchen sipping tea out of her favorite mug. It wouldn't be long, she told herself. It wouldn't be long and Red Parka would be back. The tea grew bitter and then cold. Red Parka did not come back past. She tried to rationalize it. Red Parka had just found another way. But there was no other way, Ruth was sure. The house was shaking now. Rain turned to hell, incredibly loud. It didn't hinder the roar of the storm, though. Thunder boomed in the sky. She needed to call for help. Ruth trembled as she dialed. Hello, Ruth. Ruth was confused. Did they always start the calls like this? I I need help. I need the police. I'm afraid someone's been hurt in the storm. Her voice was a whisper, and she heard the person on the other end of the line sigh. Now, we can't do that, Ruth. The man's voice was gentle. We couldn't get the police out in time back then, and we can't do it now. I'm sorry. Ruth was flabbergasted. What do they mean? She began to speak, but the man interrupted. We've been through this a lot, Ruth. You never remember. And that's okay. I need you to sit down and listen to me. As if in a trance, Ruth did what she was told. Nothing was making sense, but she knew she recognized his voice somehow. 8 years ago, we received a call from this number, from a woman called Ruth, who told us what you just did. We tried to get out as soon as possible, but the weather was so bad. Trees down everywhere, we couldn't come till the next morning. The police located the body of the person wearing the red parka almost immediately. They had been crushed by a fallen tree. Ruth realized she was crying, but couldn't work out why. We also located the body of Ruth. Of you. You had gone to find this red parka person, and in your quest to help, you were also killed. I wish things had been different for you. Ruth is out the door in a second. Maybe this time she had a do-over. Maybe she could save Red Parka, save herself. Maybe things could be different this time. Well, those were our stories for today. We witnessed a man who had his wife taken, his sanity taken, and in return he wanted something taken for his own. He took the souls of those who boarded his flight. Collateral damage. Ruth was lost in a loop of time. Although her body was no more, her soul, stuck in a moment in time, could not escape the tragedy that befell outside her home, forever enchained to try to save the one in the red parka.